The views and opinions expressed by the hosts do not necessarily state or reflect those of the company and its management. Furthermore, the views and opinions of the guests do not reflect those of the hosts, the show, the management, and the network.
In a remote, sleepy community, God's grace poured down, and one priest responded, and not only built a church, but formed the hearts of the people.
Come to the house of mercy, where His grace flows endlessly. Peace and joy are here to stay. Jesus welcomes you today.
Witness how the seed of faith blossomed into a national devotion.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Aida Manasan. I'm the president and the founding anchor also of At the Hour of Three, a social media outfit in the Philippines. But since it's a social media, it's gone international. We are in charge of also promoting the devotions of the Divine Mercy. And right now, we have started one step, a big step, towards documenting the different shrines of the Divine Mercy in the Philippines. And of course, where will we start? But in the National Shrine of the Divine Mercy in Marilao. So at this point, I'd like to give Father Vic Robles for the continuation of the history of this beautiful shrine in Marilao, Bulacan. Father Vic.
Yes, thank you very much for inviting me, being the founder of the National Shrine Divine Mercy. So, as St. Augustine would say, life is something like a book, and each travel is a page. And today you are traveling at the National Shrine Divine Mercy. It was telling about how it all started. It all started one afternoon. I was waiting for a funeral. I went back his office, parish rectory, and I opened the television. It was 3 o'clock. And at that time, this image, this icon, is a well-known icon being shown. So at that time, no existing church yet. And the whole country is praying for the Divine Mercy. And going back, I said that time, what do you want me to do for you? And then I was led to a place in Nabotas, first time to see a chapel of Divine Mercy. And I celebrated. And first time to hear the chaplet, the novena, and the host by the name of Ate invited me for a snack. And then as we were eating, I jokingly aside, I said, if ever I become a pastor, I'll build of Divine Mercy. It was a joke. 1 year later, it all happened. So I was led to this place in Marilao because this is part of the parish church of St. Michael. So going back, it was April 5, 1991, when they celebrated the feast of St. Vincent Ferrer. I went to the chapel. I came so early, and I arrived at the chapel, nobody around except the caretaker. So what we did, we opened the sound system, and then I announced the priest is here. As I was waiting, the caretaker by the name of Brother Eli told me they're planning to build a parish church. For some reason, it did not materialize. They were meeting, and I said, can you give me the location plan? And then he came with the location plan. When I saw the location plan, it was a small one. There will be houses at the side. There's no parking. And imagine, jokingly, I said, if I say my mass at 6 in the morning and my neighbor is cooking tuyo, imagine you will smell in the mass tuyo. And I said, this is not the right place. The right place, I was pointing to where the present shrine is. And then when I said, that is the best place, and they said, we don't have money. And I said, for God, nothing is impossible. For God, nothing is impossible. At that time, I could easily say that, but maybe in my heart, there's a certain doubt. And then at that time also, when I said that, I have this 12 o'clock mass at one of the bank in Makati, so I had to rush. And so I said, let's talk about it. And then I was on the taking the LRT, the metro. I was holding the rail, and then it just come into my mind the image of Divine Mercy. And I remember I said, if people would come, I would tell them Divine Mercy. And the following day, after the morning mass, the people in this barrio came by the name of Ate Nene, and they were going to they're going to pay for the missalet. So when they gave me the payment, I broke the news. I got an idea. It's Divine Mercy. In that office, the parish office, there is a small icon, Divine Mercy. I said, that will be the patron. And I would like you to tell me the honor of the lot that I was pointing. By Sunset Mass, which I don't know, it was the start of the Feast of Divine Mercy. So they gave me the name Ani Garcia. So I opened the Mass, said the Mass, and I said, Lord, I offer the lot of Ani Garcia. It's easy to offer because it's not my lot. It's somebody's lot. So what happened is that night I was there in my rectory. I could not sleep, and I said, when is the Feast of Mercy? So I slept with that question in my mind. Around 4 in the morning, the pastor, the old pastor by the name Monsignor Father Sanchez, was waking me up. I said, what happened, Father? He was banging at the door. I said, we'll change schedule. I would go to the barrio because he is always saying the Mass at the main church. So for me, first time, I was annoyed, of course, because of a change of schedule. But later on, I come to my senses. I said, I was interested because seldom do I see a big crowd attending Mass. So still in my mind, when is the Feast of Mercy? And so I started the Mass, procession, kissed the altar, and then as I kissed the altar server came with a small paper and said, this is the intention. And behold, when I look at the paper, believe it or not, written on the paper, today is the Feast of Divine Mercy. I had goosebumps. I said, what is happening? I asked question, and the Lord will answer my prayer. I think I'm out of my mind. People may think I'm out of my mind. I was looking at the crowd during my Mass, and I said, what is happening? And I said, I will go there at 3 o'clock and pray. So I decided it was summer, I took a cold shower, and then the choir were practicing, they could not sleep. So I decided, since it was the first Feast of Mercy, I don't know the chaplet, I went to the main church. And there is an icon of Divine, a small one. It was put at the side. When the icon is fixed, you hang it up, but it's at the side. As if when you look, I'm looking for a place. So I started my rosary, my five mystery. So I started around taking my walk. And then after finishing my prayer, The second reason I don't have a vehicle, when I went out, there was a vehicle waiting for me. I have a mass at 5 o'clock, and that vehicle usually fetched me 4:30 in the afternoon. But that day, he arrived around 3:15. And when I saw the guy, he said, "Why are you here?" And I said, "I have nothing to do, Father. Maybe you would like to go somewhere else." So, no schedule,
No funeral?
no funeral, and there's the vehicle. I said, "Oh." So I said, but I was hiding my intention. I said, "Let's go to that place in Santa Rosa. There is a nice halo-halo stand." So, the, and that's part of the youth. Let's eat halo-halo. So, as in English, they crush ice. Okay. So I went there, and then I was looking at the hill. I was eating the halo-halo together with the guy. And then as I was looking at the hill, it was the first piece of message. I said, "I don't know the message." And the message, which the message of the piece, that on that day, I would open an ocean of mercy. If you want me to build your place, give me a house and I start the whole thing. Give me a house. And then I finish my halo-halo, and then still it's not yet 4 o'clock. You could see the place. It's all trees. Then I took the jeepney. It's a jeepney. And then I was riding at front. And then reaching near the place, a catechist was cleaning, the same catechist who came to pay for the missalette was there cleaning the yard. And then she noticed me, she said to me, "Father, where are you going?" "I have a mass." It's 5. She knew that it's 5. It's too early. So I stepped down. She brought a hot, she took a soft drink out. So we were talking, then looking at their house. And then I noticed at the back of their house was a small neighborhood. And I said, she doesn't know my prayer. So I said, "By the way, who lives in that house?" And then she said, "Nobody lives there, Father." And I sat there, I said, I think I made a wrong prayer. Maybe I said, in these days, maybe the prayer would be, "Give me a condominium." So I sat there and waited. And then January, on the 9th month, on the occasion of my birthday, it's like giving birth. I completely renovated the chapel. It has a toilet. And on the 10th month, I started to live in this place. I lived there for almost 3 years. And then after 3 years, I started the work, those trucks. So when I said, "Give me a place," so I had this place. And then for some reason, it all materialized. It was November 4, 1991, then the creation of the shrine. So it was November 30, 1991, when it was blessed, this icon. And you know, November 30 is very significant. Why? For some reason, the reason is I was ordained on November 30.
Oh.
But do you know that I found out later, when this will be declared as a national shrine, Father Serafin Melenko came to the Philippines to give a talk, and I talked to him, and I invited him. I said, I ask you to help me get a papal blessing. But I said to him, I want a papal blessing not signed by the Secretary of State, by John Paul II. And he said, "Oh, you give me the detail." And I got it.
Oh, yeah?
personally signed by
St.
John
John
Paul
Paul.
II. When we go to the museum, you could see the replica. I have to keep it because you have to keep it in a special way. But it was signed. But I found out through Serpin Milenko that 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 day is the day when very significant because that day is the day when John Paul II signed the encyclical on Divine Mercy, Vives in Misericordia.
So the same date, November
This,
30th.
that's why when this was declared as a national shrine, I was 15 years of my priesthood. But I was ordained 1987. The encyclical was signed in 1980. So for some reason, as I go back now, maybe at that time God was preparing me. When we started the shrine, okay, I started to build. Now, there's a difficult, I don't have money to start, okay?
That's the interesting part.
Yes, how I started it. Now, with no money in my hand, how did I start it? There are three things they said to build a church: God,
Guts
gold, and
and
guts.
guts. Yeah.
At
You,
that time, I don't
you have two.
Oh, I had two.
Oh, you
So,
only lack one.
but the gold will come later on.
Yes.
Jokingly aside, they said, when you do the preaching of divine mercy, you touch, you preaching on the mercy of God, you reach the pocket.
At the same time.
So this not, these are donation by small people.
Really?
I had this coin bank, the coin bank, so I started to distribute. If you see the ground, it's 4 hectares. So I started with 1,000 square meter. Then gradually, for some reason, the adjacent lot will be offered to me. So from 1,000, it grew to 40,000 square meter. The day we will be starting the groundbreaking. So we bought the lot. I said, the first thing, we will have a mass. First, we have to consecrate. February 2, 1992, okay, there was a procession in the old chapel of Santa Rosa. And then we had the mass here, and then we had the planning. Okay, that's the what already. And actually, during that February 2, we don't still own the property. Still non-negotiation. But after that match, we were able to buy this at a cost of something like 1 million pesos at that time. 1 million, that's a big amount. And where I remembered, so I said, we started the fundraising, so I remember, since no money, the contractor, at that time, no contractor, like now, we contractor. So
No contractor effect.
no, so we just ask for a engineer advisor, something like that, because we have no money. And then I looking at my passbook after buying all this steel or for metal framing. All I had in the passbook was 70,000.
It's not even enough for the labor.
So I was depressed that morning. I was in my kubo. Early morning, I woke up. I said, and then the inspiration came, go to the place where you're building. And then I remember it's quarry, they quarry the stone here. So they were making step. And then I sat there at where they are quarrying the stone. And then I was sitting there with finishing the 70,000 stop. Imagine my collection at that time, just to share to you, my collection for a month is 5,000 pesos. And
Yeah.
the salary of my driver was 3,500.
So 1.5 ka na lang.
So 1.5, it's the expenses, everything. So then all of a sudden, uh, uh, gentle breeze touching me, and I heard a whisper. Believe it or not, the whisper was this: Don't, uh, uh, don't lose hope. Don't worry. I will build the church of my son. You are just a servant. Patulong ka lang. I will provide you. The first thing you must do is put my image here, and I will do the rest. And I said, where will I get the
Image.
So I went and I went. There's a lady by the name Nene. They are devoted to uh, a lady, Fatima, but I'm not aware of that first. So I went to because they have quite a rich family. They build a big building in Malibay, and I will just ask for, as I need scaffolding. That time the scaffolding I coco lumber. So it would help me if I get this scaffolding. So I went to their house, to their office, and then behold, in the office I saw the image of Fatima. And then it came from Fatima. It came from Fatima, Portugal. She was discovered with cancer. She prayed and she was healed. She was healed there. So thank you. And I said, can you give me an image of Our Lady Fatima? And he said, oh, where will I get it, Father? She called up the human where they have not to be found. So what she did, she prayed the time, still 15 mystery. She prayed the 15 mystery. After finishing the 15 mystery, the phone rang, and then she answered, yes, there's an available image. It could be done on February 2, or the February 2, the same, because the anniversary. So Betty said. So when she said, okay, so what I will do, I have 70,000. I will finish it. She will put the. So I said, I will put it on February 2 again, 1 year, and after that I stopped. Then, for some reason, I went to the National Shrine of Our Lady of Fatima, and there's a beautiful image of Our Lady of Fatima. When I saw it, I said to the caretaker, said, he doesn't go out in the shrine, only on first Saturday. So I would like to invite it to visit me. Then the pastor came, he's my former pastor. And then when he found out that I would be building a church, he lent me the image. So what we did, we moved around the image from house. They pray 1 decade of rosary, crown it, pray. Then we put where the image would be put, where the replica would be put. 3 days before I prepared the final blessing, an old man went to the bishop. They thought he was a beggar, and he left a check. The sister there in charge with the chancery said, Father, we thought he was a beggar. Guess what? How much he gave? He gave you. You thought a beggar, maybe 1,000. Higher, Father. 5,000. Higher, Father. 10,000. And then the sister said, do you have a heart problem? Second, when you open the envelope, she opened it. Treat us with a gallon of ice cream. And when I opened it, it was not 1,000, it's not 5,000. It was 1,000,000 pesos.
My God.
Money just check. First time in my hand,
MC pa.
Imagine, sir. It's not a.
It's not cash. It's a personal check.
It's a personal check.
Oo.
It bounce, it would not bounce.
Oo.
So I remember from the chancery office, I was driving. I bought a L3 because I need for building the church. I did a utility vehicle. I bought it, still paying, and then I was driving it. I was the driver at that time, and I was really literally crying. Said, "You made a promise," and even to this point of time, they never stop. That's God's provision. That's how. So from the time I started up to the time I finished, roughly around 123 million
Was
went in the
spent.
church.
Okay.
And by this time, the property is maybe less than a billion with all the structure being set up. But what's important was when we were starting, another thing is when we were starting, I was there, we were to about this. I remember it's at the top of it's the highest point, it's like a hill. I was starting then and I was looking at the back. The inspiration was this. The inspiration was this. You will buy all this land. You will buy all this land. I will bring people. You will build the church. This will become a national shrine. The whole world will come. And I believe in that inspiration. And I always tell that story. And you know, whenever I tell it, it's out of my mind. Nobody believe. But 11 years later, 2002, this was declared a national shrine.
You finished it what year?
2002.
2002.
Well, I finished the church in the year 2000, the Jubilee year.
Okay.
So I finished the
2000.
church, and then 2002 declared as national shrine.
2 years after.
And then 2005, I attended the conference of Divine Mercy in Krakow. The first, at that time,
Waco.
there's no WACO.
Okay.
So at that time, they call it International Convention. So I remember I attended the second International Convention, and it's about 100, is they are going to prepare for the 100 years birthday of Saint Faustina. So I remember, so I attended that conference, and when I arrived there, I met a Polish priest by the Father Paul. Father Paul is from the border of North Korea. And he said to me during this, when we beside the conference hall, he said, why not organize a convention in the Philippines? I promise I will come. I will bring Korean. So I got an idea. So when I came back, I was finishing my term here. So what I did, I went to Malaysia, I went to convince nobody would like to attend. So with some of the people I know, with some Singaporean, how can you call it, Asian convention?
Nobody
So,
comes.
so one day I was again bothered. I said, no, what I do, you want this Asian convention, what will I do? And then I was listener of Radio Veritas. And Veritas has two office. One is Philippines and Asia. So I was invited. Then I found out that Radio Veritas Asia in Novaliches, there's a compound. They were transmitting to airways. So from here, they send message. They broadcast the gospel. Vietnam, Myanmar, here. So all countries are here. So what I did, I went to the director of the
Veritas.
event. Said, I invite all these people to come for free. I bet you. So said, yes, there you go. Can you wear your national costume? So first time to have the 2005. And I remember I have to bring them here for the day, wear the national costume. And it's an Asian thing, you know. So
That was the first international
first
convention.
Asian.
Asian.
And
Okay.
then first national, because at that time we did it in the shrine.
Okay.
So at that time, so the following year, after that, somebody came from Malaysia. So Malaysia hosted. We went to Kinigao. And then from Kinigao, somebody hosted in Indonesia, in Batam. And then Batam, then Wacom came. And then we stopped.
Why?
Wacom started the takeover. Rome has interfered. Rome would like to do the thing. So Poland has to try. So since we are rooted in Poland, we have to. So that's Wacom.
I see.
So that's how it's Wacom.
I see.
So,
Okay.
but setting the Asian Convention, this thing, we started here. So, before Wacom, no Wacom yet.
You
Now,
started the grind here in the
yeah,
shrine.
yeah, then from here, then from there, and then from there, and then it's almost, when Wacom time, it's all organized already. It's easy to organize because it's all.
There was a past history.
Oh, yeah.
So, Father, going back, how many years did you put up this shrine?
So I
1981.
So I started the work in 1991, and then the church was declared 2002. 2002 when the church was declared. But building the church, it's 9 years in the making.
9 years.
So it was year 2000 on the Jubilee year when this church was consecrated on November 13th.
I have two stories to tell about how people come to this shrine. One classic example is I went to Singapore where I went practicing, and this group of divine mercy by the name of Aloysius Chu and Joanna, they have every group of divine mercies has its own identity. That's why when they come, I said, no, I personally said, try to see your calling. So their charisma was they were going to the hospital in Singapore, and they visited. And then they met this Filipina by the name of Amelia Perduto. And Amelia Perduto fell on the third floor of a building. So imagine, when your head hit, I remember we were Monday. That's why every Monday we have Mass. I remember one day we were before Mass, before working, we have the Mass. One of my worker, after Mass, was trying to strengthen the state, and then it bounced, it fell down. I went, second. That week also somebody here, he died. But the worker here, when he was rushed to the hospital, so no fracture. Here, no fracture. And Amelia's story is that he fell, and then the leg went in. He could not walk. He was sent to the Philippines, and this group of Divine Mercy were sending her $50. So when he went to Singapore, they gave him $50. Check. And I said, I don't have time to. So I was leaving at the Gipahad, I remember. Then, since I wrote her a letter, still the letter is the first thing. So she came with the letter, and when I saw her, then I gave her the check. I said, maybe there's a reason she was on crutches. Maybe there's a reason why you come. Maybe you go to the grotto. You get some water. I bless it. I gave her an empty bottle. She took the blessing and she left. It was months later on the feast of the Magi. Magi is January 6th. Three kings. Remember that three kings have two things in common. Number one, they came from a far place. Second, they have a gift. Amelia came. She came from a far place and she had a gift. And do you know the gift? She was, during the operatory, she was bringing her to Francis. She was beaten, you walk, and I said, what made you walk? And she said, you told me, Father, nothing is impossible. What I have happened, Father, is that the water we bless, every day I will pour out to the water I will take. I jokingly I said, she has also bathtub. What's bathtub? And she would pour out and then take it out. Then one morning, she comes to, she forgot that she was crippled. She just walked. She went out, shouting, saying, I can walk, I can walk. slum area in the focus. And then, of course, the slum said, the poor people said, what happened to you? There's a place in Marilao. That's why there's a big block of pilgrim coming to place. And then started praying. Yeah. That's what I did. And I went to this church back later, so. And what struck me is when you enter this shrine, there's a slogan, a place of prayer, peace, solitude. And later on, I included healing. So I made when I came back, I put that slogan at the expressway. People see place of prayer, peace, place. And people, because of that billboard, comes to the shrine. And one of my partners in the picture started with seeing that billboard and brought them to the shrine. Now, my experience there, I prayed for, and that church is also a place of Sanctuaries. Oregon. So
I was there.
my mom was after that was declared cancer. As a thanksgiving, I even printed the prayer there. And I remember every day with the permission, they sent me a letter why, and I explained that because of my thanksgiving, and then the priest there said, okay, you can print it. That's why you have to print it. That's an experience. So that's why all these things you see is part, when I traveled, I've been traveling, two things happened to me. So we see this, there is, we call it, there's an exhibit of Holy Land, there's an exhibit of Poland. Actually, at the time, I have still exhibit of Mother Teresa, who's gone already. And then I have this rosary here. Whenever I travel, there is always two things that happen. Number one is people will bring me to a shrine to pray. It's this shrine. I got an idea when I went to Montreal. First place I went abroad was Montreal. And I remember that time I went to Montreal. My brother was working. He said, stay here. There's a shrine here of St. Joseph. Oratory St. Joseph. He prepared my lunch. You do your retreat there. I fetch it the afternoon. So I have nothing. I saw there a station of the cross. They have a big shrine. Everything. And I found out that it was built by my brother by the name of Brother Andre. He's a brother and he built a huge shrine. 5,000 capacity. And he bought all the mountain with nothing. One day, he was a brother, he was a caretaker, my brother. He was a stud, St. Joseph. He was a porter at school. He studied St. Joseph. Basically, he said, Spirit said, why do you have this, even St. Joseph? It was one day, St. Joseph invited him. That's what I did. So I got the idea from that, of course. He set up here. So this is small, just on a portion of it. So whenever I visit a shrine, there is always two things that happen. I'm happy to visit a shrine, but there is a feeling of loneliness. Why? Because I know poor people that come. That's why I came up with that. I got an idea of I got an idea because poor people cannot come. The museum. So, the sign is this. Did I accomplish it? One day, there is a visitor from Poland, a young girl, and I heard it in the talk and invited to come and sing because I like the song to Bulacan. They came up to my church to sing that in my church. She came and to her here in the museum of John Paul. She was crying. I felt I am at home with you in the heart. This is the heart, this right. This is a place God will touch you and you will reach your heart. And when you reach your heart, you go down. raises, giving you the strength again. Problem you will never get, but you face them in a different angle. The dedication of people in the past, I think, that's the key problem now is how can we pass it to the young generation? This devotion, how can we bring it to the young generation? With all this, that's why through this social media, people now need more stories. I remember one of the counselors saying, and she attended my mass. She always said, she's a counselor. He said, she said, I like your style of preaching. You tell stories because he said, you know what people need now are stories.
Yeah, that's an exciting part too. Moving forward, especially for the Divine Mercy. You know, I mean, as I told you earlier, as Mr. One first asked me, why so many shrines? And why do you want to be so tall? I was really looking at this age. Why do you really want it to be so tall? And so many shrines. What is really the reason? And I was also placed in the situation that I would get a first-hand answer from you. Because the Lord knows that I had that in my heart. So
thank you for trying to see the things that maybe through this documentation, we pass it to the next generation.
yes, that is always our mission. I always say I will start it blindedly, following every instruction. Bahala ka na, Lord. Whoever will follow this will have a mission of its own.
Yes.
What's important is to be done.
The people but on the right track. See, sometimes if you are not instructed, the problem, that's the problem now. Thank you.
But the Lord will always have His way of correcting.
Okay.
So, thank you so much. This is Ida Manasan and Father Vic Robles. On the beginning of the Shrine of the Divine Mercy, the National Shrine of the Divine Mercy, Marilao, Bulacan. Good afternoon, everyone. Is it afternoon? Yes, it's afternoon. Thank you, Father.
Come to the house of mercy, come and see where Jesus waits to love you tenderly. Like little children, bring your heart today. Tell him everything, he'll hear what you say. Come to the house of mercy, where his grace flows endlessly. Peace and joy are here to stay. Jesus welcomes you today. Leave your worries, leave your fears behind. In his presence, mercy you will find. Every prayer, every sigh he knows. Every tear, every hope he holds. Come to the house of mercy, where his grace flows endlessly. Peace and joy are here to stay. Jesus welcomes you today. Talk to him, laugh and sing. Little children to the King. Open hearts, he'll embrace. Here in his holy, loving place. Come to the house of mercy, where his grace flows endlessly. Peace and joy are here to stay. Jesus welcomes you today. Come to the house Jesus waits to meet you today.